TreePlasm enables control cross seed families, in other words, full SIB seed families, to be captured, maintaining the full pedigree from both the maternal and paternal side. Not only is this very important for future testing of the material and information on performance of that seed family, but it also facilitates mining information on general combining ability, hybrid combining ability, fecundity, and fertility, just to name a few. So let's go to TreePlasm and see how we can do this. Control cross seed can be registered from the trees where the seed was made. In other words, if you are doing your control cross program in an orchard or a breeding archive, you can go to those trees in Trees Alive and register the seed from there. You'll see I'm in Trees Alive, filter on the orchard where the mothers are, search, and you will get a list of all the trees that are in that orchard. In order to register seed, the trees that are used as the mothers must be marked as selections in TreePlasm. In other words, this column selected must be ticked for those trees used as mothers. Having a selection name and a selection stage is optional, but they must, as a minimum requirement, be marked as selected. This can be done in Trees Alive by applying an action. I will choose that first tree. I'm then going to choose the action, mark selected trees as selections. So mark the chosen tree as a selection. I'm going to click Go. And you will notice that it now has been flagged as a selection. If I want to give it a selection name or change any other details, I can go and edit that. I can go to selection name. I can add the selection name by clicking on that green arrow, or if it is already in TreePlasm, I can pick it up. That's the selection name. I can add a selection stage if I want. That selection stage, however, is predefined by the user, by your company, whatever selection stages you have chosen. For this particular example, I'm not going to add a selection stage. So having given a selection name, I'm going to save it. Now you'll see that selection name appears. If you have many trees in the orchard that you're using as mothers, it is more efficient to use an upload to do this. Note that you need only mark the mother as a selection once in TreePlasm. Then every time you do new crosses on that mother, it will be marked as a selection and you can just upload or add the seed germplasm. So the marking of the selection only happens once. Let me show you how you can use an Excel upload to mark the selections. Prepare your Excel as follows. List the site, the name of the trial in other words, or the orchard or breeding archive. This particular orchard does not have plots and reps. It is a row column orchard, so I've got the row and the column, and then specify the tree number. If there were reps and plots, I would specify that rather than the row and the column. Then you can specify the selection name. Very important, compulsory selected must be true, and the selection stage is optional. Save that Excel and you're ready to do the upload. Go to Uploads, and we're going to use the Infusion Germplasms and Germplasm Pedigree upload. Give your upload a description for future reference if you wish. Choose the file that you're going to use for the selection upload. specify the sheet number, check that the rows and all the other fields are correct where your data starts, and then click Submit to move to the second upload screen. Now ensure that your pairings are correct. Site, pair that with the site name, in other words, the orchard name, or the trial name if you are marking selections in a trial. Row, pair that with row, column with column, tree with tree, selection name, selected true or false, and selection stage we're going to leave blank, because although there was a column in our Excel labeled selection stage, it wasn't populated. So you can just not pair it, or you can delete it if you wish. I'm going to click Upload, and you will see the log says the upload has been performed successfully and makes the comment that the germplasm has been set to that of the selection name. What has happened here is that using this upload, not only are the parents of the female trees marked as selections and given a selection name, but at the same time, half sib, in other words, open pollinated germplasm, is automatically created from each of those trees. If you do not wish to have that germplasm in TreePlasm, simply go to Germplasms, go to Seed Half Sibs. I'm going to search on last edit today. You will see there those 3 seed half sib seed lots, and I'm going to delete them. That is should you not wish to have those germplasms in. Right. Okay, now I'm going to go back to Trees Alive. I'm going to refresh. And you will see now that 4 trees are marked. Remember, we did this first one using the action to mark as a selection. And these others have been flagged using our upload. So now we can capture our control cross seed because the mothers have been marked as selections. Let's capture seed from this first mother. Before we can actually start doing that, there's one final thing we need to make sure of, and that is that the pollen germplasm is in TreePlasm. To do that, go to Germplasms, Pollen. You can see here we've got 2 pollen germplasms linked. I'm going to be using this one. If the pollen germplasm wasn't in TreePlasm, you need to generate or register that germplasm before you can capture the control cross seed. So all your pollens that you used need to be in. Let's go back to Trees Alive. We're in Trees Alive. We're going to capture some control cross or full sib seed from using this first mother. So let's select it. You'll see the action box appears. And I'm going to register control crossing seed from selected trees. I'm going to click on Go. You will see there you get a list of the pollens. I'm going to select that pollen. You can put a date collected and a status if you wish. Those are the statuses you've defined, and I can apply. TreePlasm tells me that 1 tree was successfully used to create the crosses from germplasms. I'm now going to go into germplasm and full sib seed, and I'm going to look for that new seed that has been created. Let's go there, last edit today. We're going to search, and there you will see it. There is that germplasm. Note the syntax. You've got the female parent, the selection name, and the male parent, the pollen name. That is the advantage of having the selection names in TreePlasm as well. It generates your seed lot, your seed family name. You can see it's from this female tree, and if we click on that, we have a direct link to the tree. And from there, we can also jump to different measures and measurements of the tree. We've got the full pedigree here. We go back to seed full sip. I'm back in seed full sips. If we click on the male, it'll take us to the male germplasm. Let's go there. And there you will see there's the male pollen, germplasm name, and the male tree where that came from, because this pollen germplasm was registered from a tree. Let's go back to trees alive. If you have many control cross families to capture, if you've done many control cross pollinations in your orchard, it may be time consuming to do them all individually, and you may elect to do them in an upload. Full sip seed can be uploaded using the maternal pedigree and the pollen. This is useful after a control pollination program where there are many full sip families. And as mentioned, it may be time consuming to generate the full sip germplasm manually. In order to upload your full sip seed crosses, you need to prepare an Excel where you have the germplasm name of the new control cross, the mother's trial number, the row and column or the plot, and rep, the tree number, the pollen species, and the propagule. Once you have these, you can use the infusion germplasm and germplasm pedigree upload to upload many full sip seed families. There are detailed instructions on how to do this in the manual, and I refer you to those.